Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another long-term update for you. I did this like in a mass thing last time, and you guys really liked it. So that's the format I'm going to do these in now. I'm just going to do 5 or 6 at a time. We got 6 tonight. I'm just going to give a little brief update of how they've been, how long I've had them. I'm not going to go through all the specs and all that stuff. I will link to the reviews of all of them down below if you want to go check that out. Now, one of these I don't have a full review on because by the time I got it, everyone already had one, but it was in a comparison, so I'll link to that. But yeah, and I have one more of these coming before the end of the year. I know I said it was gonna be a couple months before I did another one, but I wanted to do another one now. I changed my mind because I've got end of the year lists coming up, and I wanted to have these out before I did my end of year list. And I've got one more of these long-term updates that's just going to be budget stuff. A couple of these are fairly inexpensive, but I'm still not putting them in that budget thing. So here we go. Let's get started. First up, we have the Bestech Paladin. I've had this for about 6 months. Still really liking it. D2, awesome action, ball bearings. Oh, what you expect from a Bestech. G10 handles. Great knife. I did do a comparison test was very recently with the Civivi Praxis and the Ontario Wrap Model 1, and it did finish second to the Praxis, but I will say I don't have the Praxis anymore, and I still have this because it's D2, and I just like it, and I like the Backlash Civivi model better, so I kept that one and sold the Praxis. And that is the only flaw of this knife. This knife is great. Ergonomically, it is awesome. Nice, good jimping. Great blade shape. Very slicey. Quality's been great. Haven't had a single issue with it. But the only problem with this knife is that the Civivis exist now, and they're kind of the hot thing right now. Like, this knife was the hot thing for about 5 minutes, and then the Civivis came out and kind of swarmed over it. But Civivis have that 9CR 18 MOV steel, which people aren't super familiar with, and they're not comfortable with. Everybody's comfortable with D2. So this is still a knife it's still doing well. It's still a great knife. Comes in different colors. Comes in a partially coated blade, all that stuff. I do really, really like the Paladin. I have no plans on getting rid of it anytime soon at all. And I did get rid of the Praxis, which I had it win in the comparison. So you can see I'm objective. Sometimes I give wins to things that I personally don't like as much as other things, but I know other people will. So there we go. Next up, the Rectifier. I haven't seen this one on the channel for a while yet, but it's seen the inside of my pocket a whole lot. I've had this for, I made a note, 7 months. It was $144. Oh, by the way, this was $52. They're on sale right now. I saw it for $46.80. So go check that out. They're having a Black Friday sale. Lots and lots and lots of places. This was $144 when I got it. Today it's $130. And Blade HQ has a wee sale on this horrible Black Friday, but I think it's on sale a lot of places actually. But anywho, 3-inch super slicey blade. As you can see by its scratches, it does get used quite a bit. I do really like this. Where this has found a very permanent spot in my collection is it's a under 3-inch blade, super slicey, pretty tough construction. Not ridiculously expensive, not ridiculously cheap. Like M390 you're talking about for that price. It's still very reasonable price for what it is. So what I kind of use this for a lot is when, as I've said many, many, many times, I do have areas of my city where I'm only supposed to carry 3-inch blades. So I will take this if I'm going to one of those areas and I think I'm actually going to have to do something. If I'm actually going to have to cut some stuff up, I'll carry this. The Benchmade Saibu was in my last long-term update. That's another knife that gets in my 3-inch carry roll a lot. The Spyderco Sage 5. But those are ones where I just want to have a knife in my pocket. Those are what I'll carry when I really think I'm going to really be doing some stuff. This is often one that I grab because it's just that blade shape and that it's so slicey, so thin behind the edge. I think it was like 13 or 14 thousandths behind the edge. It's just so slicey that I just like having this in my pocket when I think I might actually have to do some stuff and I can't carry anything over 3 inches. I've had 0 issues with it whatsoever. All right, next up we have the Massdrop Ferrum Forged Gent. This is another one. Doesn't make the Instagrams. Well, it's all linty. I just carried it last night, so that's probably why it's all linty. The Massdrop Gent, as the name would imply, it is a little small gentleman's folder. Again, an under 3-inch knife that I have to carry sometimes when I have to use that category. Again, it's been flawless. It doesn't get a lot of hard use. It gets a lot of pocket time. It doesn't get a lot of hard use. Where this has found a spot in my collection is because of that pocket clip that some people complained about. Some people complained about the tiny little minimalist pocket clip that looks like it comes from a pen. That's part of the reason why I carry it so much, because it is invisible. You can put it in your pocket. I'll carry this a lot when I go places that I don't want to bother asking if it's okay or not to have a knife in my pocket. This is kind of one that I will carry. I've never had a problem, but this is one that's just... that I like the tiny little itty bitty pocket clip. Nobody suspects this is a knife in your pocket. And when you do pull it out, it's a great knife. When you do have to use it, it's held up super well. Almost completely drop shutty. I haven't done the magic KPL treatment on it yet. Maybe I could make it be that, but it still has that great click. Yeah. And I had a Kizer Dukes alongside this that I thought I'd never get rid of my Dukes, and I got rid of my Dukes because I like this much better. S35 VN, $80. As always, the downside of Massdrop knives is you gotta wait till the next drop before you can get one. That's always the downside with it. They just came out with a fancy pants version. That drop just ended. I almost got one, but I thought, why? The black G10 is fine. I just would have got carbon fiber. It wouldn't have been that much of a difference aesthetically, so I just kept the one I've got. But man, I do like this knife. This is one that's definitely, I can't envision a scenario in which I would sell it. Because again, I got it for $79. I'm not sure what, I think the fancy pants ones were 100 or 120 or something. You could get wood and all kinds of stuff, but yeah, love it. Oh, I just flicked it the wrong way. The magic of semi-live television. Yeah, love this thing. Ain't going anywhere. Next up, we have the Benchmade Bugout. This was just recently on the channel. I did a comparison between it and the other best-selling Benchmade, the Griptilian, and I said I liked this better, and I do. I still stand by that. This is one of my favorite Benchmade models. I really, really do. I really do like it that much. It's one of my faves. I love the blade shape. S30V. People always complain about S30V now, which it's only $115. It's fine. The other thing people complain about, and I will address it right off the bat, yes, you can squeeze it. It is, these Grivery handles are very flexy. Has it ever once been an issue in the 9 months I've had this? No, it is not. Never once. And I've taken it camping as my only knife I had on me 2 or 3 times. Never been a problem. Never had an issue with anything. Cutting wood. I mean, I'm not batoning it or anything like that. I'm not an idiot. But no, as far as just like, you know, shaving wood for kindling and stuff like that, it was fine. It's cut a ton of cardboard. It's obviously what we all do with our knives, cut open a bunch of boxes. But never had a problem with that. I don't think it's a big deal. There is a huge aftermarket mod community for these now. You can get all kinds of stuff. You can get titanium scales, carbon scales, all kinds of stuff. You double the price of the knife when you put them on there, but it's kind of cool. But I've never really been tempted by any of them. I have been tempted by, if I wanted to go crazy, to get the one with the gray coated blade and then put carbon scales on it. But I'd not. This one, it's always going to have those blue studs, and yeah, I don't want to bother with it, changing the color of those or anything. So I'm just going to keep it as it is because I'm very happy with it the way it's been. And it weighs nothing. There is no concerns of what clothing I'm wearing when I grab this, especially over the summer. This thing got carried constantly. No, didn't matter how thin my shorts were. I can grab this, chuck it in there. Worked perfectly fine. All right, we got 2 more left. Next up, this is one that you guys actually asked for in the last one, to ask how this one was going and wanted it in the next long-term update. I've had this for about 5 months. The Kizer Mini Sheepdog. Yep, still love it. This is still, I call this one of my most fun knives of 2018, and it's still going to stay on that list. As a matter of fact, I think that might be how I do my best of 2018 list, is I'm just going to do my top 10 best knives of 2018, and then I'm also going to do a list of the top 10 most fun knives of 2018 or something like that, because I was going to do it budget and high end, and it's just so hard to figure out right now. This was such a good year for knives. JT's Knife Life, by the way, check his channel out. And I were just talking about Instagram a few minutes ago, and it was just, it's so hard to pick them this year. It's really, really hard to pick them. It was a great year, but this knife is definitely still the most fun I've had with a knife this year. It's just so drop shutty and smooth. It's kind of crazy looking, but it's so small that it still doesn't like, make anybody super angry or scared. It's only $59. It just brings a smile to my face all the time. And I mentioned once I thought about getting a black one, and I don't know, maybe I will someday, but right now I'm kind of okay with the blue still. I go back and forth. Some days I don't want the blue anymore, I want the black, but I could always dye it if I wanted to. That would probably be a smarter thing to do, wouldn't it, than bother to sell and get another one. But yeah, it's just great knife. Love it. It's probably never going anywhere unless I get one of the titanium ones. That's the only way I could ever see getting rid of that one. Whenever that does happen. They say it's happening, I don't know when. Last up, the ZT0609. I saved this for last because this is the most complicated one I have. So the 0609 came out 8 months ago. That's when I got mine. We were supposed to be able to get the special tool to work on it, which is right here, I think. Let me grab it out of my thing here. Yeah, this little special tool that you have to use to work on the pivot, magnets together. It's a very nice tool. We all kind of saw the tool before the knife came out. We knew what it was going to look like, and it was going to have the magnets and all that stuff, and it was fine. When we all bought this knife, they said that this would be out in 2 to 3 weeks. It was 5 months before we finally got it, and that was annoying. Mine worked pretty damn good, so it wasn't a big deal, but there were some people that did need to adjust their pivot. There were some people that got them and the centering was a bit off, or they wanted to release the action just a little bit or tighten it up a little bit, and they couldn't because they didn't have that damn tool, and it took forever. And they do charge you for this tool. I think this tool is $18, 17, $18, something like that, maybe 20, I can't remember, but it's not inexpensive, but it's not, not expensive either. It's pretty cheap. I didn't mind buying it. Some people got really angry that they had to buy the tool for it. I don't mind that, especially they're coming out with other models that use it now, so the fly through, stuff like that. I get why they charge for it, and it is really nicely made. Once you get it in your hand, you kind of realize, oh yeah, this would be a lot to give away for free. But it just that it took so long. And all that mine had was, I had one little issue with, I just wanted to back the detent off just a tiny little skosh, and I couldn't do that, and it was frustrating. And then I just was mad waiting forever for that tool, and I got very mad at this knife, even though there's so many things I loved about it. The 20 CV blade, $220 was a very fair price, super slicey. I put this deep carry clip on it from MXG Gear that's bronze, matched perfectly. It looks great. Although the stock clip was fine. There wasn't much with it. I just had a discussion with somebody else. I can't remember who it was, Blade Centered or Blade Banner. Blade Centered, I think. We were talking about how I don't mind upgrading a clip. I get mad when you have to buy a new clip right out of the box, when the pocket clip is so bad that you just know you have to buy one as soon as you get your hands on it. This was not at all that situation. The clip that came with the 0609 was fine. Just this one looked really cool, and I do like a bit more deep carry, so that's why I got it. But anyway, I loved a whole lot about it, but then I just kept waiting on that tool and waiting on that tool and waiting on that tool and getting more and more and more and more mad. And I didn't even carry it at all for like almost a month. And now I got the tool. I got it centered and set up just exactly how I want it. It's super smooth. It's just the detent is absolutely perfect, and I'm just really liking it. I've kind of started to fall in love with it all over again, but I am trying to get my hands on an 0470, which is almost exactly the same size, so we will see. But I still do like the ZT, this and the 0470, since I just mentioned it. They're doing more EDC size knives like this, and I really like it. Before anybody asks, no, when I spine thwack it, it does not, the lock does not fail. That's all I'm going to say about that. This one doesn't do that, so I'm not, because I know somebody's going to say, there was a video that said it happens on all of them. It doesn't. I've got two. Doesn't happen on mine. All done with that. Yeah, great knife. I do really like it. Yes, am I still annoyed about the tool? Yeah. Do you have a right to be annoyed that they make you buy the tool? Yes, of course you do. I'm not, because it's $220 for a titanium frame lock with the 20 CV. Might be easier if they just charge $240 like they do for the 0393 and throw the tool in, but whatever. That was their choice, and I think it is because they're going to come out with a lot more models that use this RJ Martin pivot, and they thought it'd be easier just to sell the tool separately. So that's it. That's all I have to say. That is my EDC update. As I said, I'm going to do one more before the end of the year because I want to do a bunch of cheaper budget ones. I thought it'd be cool to do all those together instead of mixing them in with this, like really budget stuff, like some of the $20, $30 knives I've reviewed throughout the year. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.